being a series that we're going to do, and we're going to be looking into that, but this is an unsponsored plug, and John had it with the music. You got to take another breather. This is the book that I will be following, as well as the Bible, obviously, so I'm not preaching Craig Groeschel's gospel, I'm preaching from the Bible, obviously, but this is the book that we will be using for this series, and we're going to be talking stuff about time, money, relationships, sex. We'll even talk about that a little bit. So I'm excited for it. Just a heads up, we are working on our summer series, that we will be doing via Renewed, and I opened up the same thing I just closed. Let me get my notes up. Okay. But we will be doing a series, Do You Even Lift? Looking at ways that we lift our cross and don't lift our cross and take it up daily. Followed, because we just came up with this in the corner and I like it, I think we're going to chase it, but a series on like wrestling type stuff, fighting, because y'all been working out, y'all been getting huge. Do you lift? Yes, then you got to fight. So we're going to be talking about fighting and the battles that are actually worth fighting for, and how most of the people that we fight or things we fight really just don't matter in the long run, okay? But, like I said, we're going to be talking about weird. Life about being normal is what believers have been starting to live for some reason. Normal is not a bad thing. I like to get normal. You know, I was born very normally. There were no wrong complications with the pregnancy. I was fine there. Elementary school was filled with the normal. Do you like me? Check yes or no. Or do you like me? Didn't punch me in the arm. Then we, doing the typical Evel Knievel stunts where you and your cousin put the ramp via a hill right at the top and you jump off of it and you get 2 inches of air, but you think you're a god flying through it, you're a majestic beast. I had the typical, Walmart piece of chrome bike. My cousin would fall off, and I remember the day he pulled up a little bit too much on his front wheel and essentially landed on his butt on the bottom of the hill, but he wasn't allowed to say butt, so he said bunky. And I remember his dad, my uncle, and my dad and my grandpa, like the generations of Finley men sitting at the bottom of the hill, and when he hit the hill and just got up, my bunky, every one of them laughing at him instead of are you okay? Just laughing at him. I'm up at the top of the hill, laughing as well, because I'm a typical 7-year-old. We had a cousin that didn't really fit in with us per se, so he wanted to hang out with us. So typically, what do? The normal thing to do for your baby cousin when he wants to hang out: Ian, lay down. We're gonna jump over you. So we did that. 4 out of the 5 times we nailed him. So. Elementary school, there was one thing that knocked me back. I was typical, everything that you do, you just do it hard and you go crazy. So trampoline went from you're a normal kid doing backflips to you're the greatest WWE star and you're jumping off the playset onto your brother and he's getting up acting and you think, well, it's wrestling, so he's probably faking it, but he didn't, and you just keep going with that. And, taking your Razor scooter and thinking you're the coolest because you could bunny hop it off a curb, and then next thing you know, you landed on your face and you're in the hospital for the night because you cracked your skull from here over. That was pretty normal for me, or a Finley boy. I remember jumping off the top of the playset, trying to be cool. We found out we could jump off the top of the playset, hit the trampoline, and get more air than just bouncing, so that's what we did. And then Justin got the good idea, and I got a good idea. Tyler, if you take the trucks and the wheels off a skateboard, it's like you're snowboarding. I said, that's incredible. I'm gonna do it. The first couple times, I did it while I was on the trampoline, so I would hit the trampoline and grab the board and woo, and then you land it and you thought you were the coolest thing, but then of course you had to take it a step further, so you grab the board up top, and I think it's called caveman, so you jump off the top and you put the board underneath you, and 5 seconds of that flight was awesome. And the next thing you know, I've snapped my ankle all the way over on the trampoline. I am literally in agonizing pain. This is what my brother and sister say to me: Tyler, get off, we want to jump still. I broke my ankle. Don't matter, you beat a baby, get off. If you know Kristen, that's typical, and she'd still do that today. Middle school was filled with the random empty crushes and, doing well in school for me, and sports and being interested in that, and trying to figure out who you are. So, what's up, Mike? And, doing random projects for your school, thinking you're the coolest. High school was filled with the normal emotional traumas. When you're in middle school and elementary school, you break a pencil, cool. But you're a freshman in high school, you break a pencil, the world's ended. And you don't know how to react from that. And, the crushes that didn't like me, or the crushes that liked me, and I took advantage of that. And, or the relationships that, because when you're in high school, you're going to marry everybody you date. I don't know if y'all know that, but you are. So, which is why I urge you not to date, some of you. I typically, this is the one, freshman year, this is the one, what are you going to do with your life? I don't know, but I'll make sure I'm going to marry her. She's awesome. And, that was pretty normal. Sports, I did student body, government. I was student body president my senior year. I did a lot of the theater over there at Southside, and I led the plays. And that's pretty normal. That's the typical thing. So we all do sports, we all do relationships, we all, video games, we all do these types of things. That was normal. And that's normal. But there was a time about freshman year where life got really hard. And life started to bring questions that weren't exactly normal. Is there life after death? Is there eternity? Is Jesus really God? Why isn't one of these guys like Buddha God? Why isn't this God is the other God? This is the one that I need to believe in. Essentially like picking something on a menu. Like, okay, which one do I need? Which one's the best? Typical in a baby Christian and a baby believer, what's the most I can get out of one of these? Is God going to give me stuff that I want? Or am I going to have to give up everything that I want? Normal people really don't think about these types of things. In fact, if you see somebody on the corner of the street talking about these things, you would deem him weird. We fit into this normal lifestyle. But the more I read the Bible, the more I'm convinced that we actually see the opposite of a normal calling. That we see a lot of Jesus's, the book would title this Red Letter Weird. That a lot of what Jesus was saying was calling you to a life that would actually be considered weird. Not the norm. So I really want to look at two verses, really, and as we go throughout the weeks, we'll look into more. And one of the verses is, short, simple, to the point, and kind of like, this is the idea I'm talking about, and then one verse really expands the idea. So the first verse, if you got your Bibles, turn them on or turn in them. Let me just take a vote. Who doesn't have a Bible? You can be honest. Who does not have a Bible? Then why are they not here? If you need a Bible, come talk to me so we can get you a Bible. Because it's different than having it on here than having the actual book. It's different. It's just different. Okay? I know. So if you don't have a Bible, please, Mike's had it. Mike didn't like that before. Sorry. But, wait a minute, I'm not sorry. If you don't have a Bible, come talk to me and I'll get you a Bible. I will gladly get you a Bible. If you do have a Bible and you're not bringing it, and for a fact, I know some of you do have a Bible, and I know exactly where it's at in your house, and I know you haven't brought it once. So, there's your challenge. Maybe start bringing your Bible to Bible study. Just to convince you, bring your textbooks to the class with some of you. But Luke 6:27, Luke 6:27 through 29. Here's what it says. When I say to you who hear, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you, pray for those who abuse you. To one who strikes you on the cheek, offer the other also. And from one who takes away your cloak, do not withhold your tunic either. That's weird. That's weird. Guys, if somebody gets in your face and pops you on the chin, what's your natural thing? Pop them back. You said that without hesitation. You pop them back. That's what you do. You put some stink behind your fist. And it goes the same thing for ladies. Ladies, when somebody talks bad about you, what do? You go talk bad. That's normal. That is normal. But if we're supposed to follow Jesus, if we're supposed to be like Jesus, I do not see this, hey, hate your enemies, do nothing good for them who hate you. If they curse you, curse them right back. To those who strike you, pop them on the chin a little bit harder, actually. And if he takes your jacket, rip his off. Like that's normal. But Jesus says, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who abuse you. To one who strikes you on the cheek, offer the other also. And not in a cocky way either. Not like, oh, that was nothing, come on. Not like that. He's not saying do that. Yeah, you thought you could punch me. And from one who takes away your cloak, do not withhold your tunic as well. Normal says to hate your enemies with everything you got. Well, Jesus calls us to love. Normal says seek revenge, but Jesus says to be kind. This is all sorts of weird against the norm. I bet $5 that you could not walk through that hallway and convince somebody that that wasn't normal. There is no way that we alone will be able to live this lifestyle. There's no way. There's a verse also that I want to look at, Matthew 7. Matthew 7, verse 13. It says this, enter by the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the way is easy that leads to destruction. And those who enter it by it are many. The gate is narrow and the way is hard. It leads to life. Those who find it are few. This is our theme verse. The way to get through the bigger gate, it's easier, it's convenient, it's normal. The narrow gate is much harder to get through. But it's the gate we need to get through. It's the one that leads to life. It's the one that's weird. Because if there's, let's say there's a broad gate over here, and then there's a gate that's essentially this big, and everybody's going through that gate, but I sit here and I go, excuse me. If I sit there and do something like that, you would look over there and you go, who is the weirdo? Who's the moron trying to make it difficult on himself? Why isn't he over here? It's easier, it's convenient, it's normal, it's what we're all doing. But Jesus says, do not do this, because that leads to destruction. Jesus says, go through the narrow, it leads to life. Life in me. So why would we dare go through the wider one? And he's even honest with you. Jesus is not hiding anything from you. He sits there and tells the followers, it's a lot easier to get through this one. And it's a lot harder to get through that one. But trust me, you need to get through that one. You need to go through that one. And I think some of us are over here in the gate that we're leading to destruction, we're doing whatever we want. And some of us, I honestly, genuinely know all of you in your hearts. And I think a lot of us are trying to get right here, but I think some of us are on this highway getting stuck right here. I think we're in a traffic jam. I think we're not sitting there like, blatantly sinning or anything, but I think we're stuck. We don't feel God, we don't know God, we kind of just, it's easier over there. I know I got to do this, but all my friends are over here. And then my church friends are over here. So you're telling me my friends, I don't want to leave my friends. I don't want to leave what's normal. I don't want to leave convenient, because then they're going to look at me and call me weird. And Jesus says, yeah, embrace it. That's what I called you to be. If I called you to be normal, go through the gate. The wide open one, I don't care. But no, he calls us to a higher standard. This is a line that you can either tweet or Facebook. Jesus' words are like a speed limit sign. They are there for our good no matter how much we object them. But even then, we ignore them. Jesus' words are like a speed limit sign. They are there for our good no matter how much we object them or hate them. And even then, we ignore them. See, the deal, guys, is this road, the wide open one, just leads to dead ends. It leads to dead ends. It leads to nowhere. It leads, because, it might be, because I'm not saying like as soon as you go through the gate that it's like, life's hard, life's easy. Life's hard, life's easy. No, you might go a couple of, weeks, years, decades even, like, hey, this ain't that bad. But it's empty. There's nothing there. It might be temporary fun. You might run into things, like drugs and alcohol and girls and boys and this style and that style and this style of music and that form of this. And, you might even do this, and you might even be going to church and be on this path. We're even going to talk about the world might have churches on this path. But Jesus says, I am begging and calling for the one weird enough to leave the normal path. To go through the narrow path, the harder one I know, but one that leads to life in me. That's the one we need to be on. We've got to change. If we really want to follow Jesus, we can't be like the normal ones. We have to be weird. And people are going to notice that. Because like your hallways, you know who's weird. You can talk to me, Faith, Chandler, Rachel, Jay. We know who's weird in Greenville. Why? Because they're a little different. Yeah, Chandler says he is. But Jesus has called us from this path to that path, knowing it's the better path. And this is what we're going to talk about over the next couple weeks. Normal is busy. Normal is busy. We buy, sell, drive, cook, clean, call, shop, eat, plan, study, write reviews, schedule, and have to follow through on everything, leaving us overwhelmed, overloaded, and exhausted only to want more time to catch up. Normal is very busy and getting busier by the minute. Normal leaves us in debt. Yeah, we're going to talk about money and finances and how we can actually be on the road to living a good lifestyle with money that glorifies God, because Jesus does talk about it. Normal, you spend money you don't have. You want the nearest Xbox, you got $50, you take out a loan, you buy the Xbox. That's the type of mentality. Do yourself a favor and get a job. So here's the deal. My parents tried to instill this in me and I didn't understand it, but your parents' money won't be there forever. If you are of age and can get a job, get a job. Whether it's babysitting or whether it's working at Bojangles. Because if you think for 5 minutes that my glorified job that I've waited my whole life to work at Monkey Joe's and wear the purple suit with no fan inside, or tell her we got the hood with the fan. The fan's broken? Well, you gotta put it on. Yippee! You're lying to yourself. But I promise if you work hard and you put in fruit and you look to God, you will get the job you want. Normal is requiring less of relationships. And those relationships are providing less for us. Relationships are a very godly thing. If they weren't a godly thing, he wouldn't talk about the Trinity first before creating them, and he wouldn't create a lovely and beautiful marriage and relationship right out of the garden. Because he knew we were not to be alone. So he created a suitable helper for Adam. Can I ask for maturity on this next point? Because we will be talking about this one week. Normal has changed the view of sex. Premarital, extramarital, cheating, hookups, friend with benefits, whatever feels good is normal. I had a buddy once say, you don't buy a car without test driving it. Here's the deal. And I've said this before, and I said it in the relationship, but it's one of my favorite quotes that Jesus just keeps reiterating in my life. To tell you guys, not just you, your whole generation. Guys, when you look at a girl and call them whatever you want to call them, the B word, the whore, hoe, what, slut, anything like that, and you treat them like dirt and you rub them down and you tell them this quote, here's the deal. You are requiring them and making them settle for second, and second is you. When you should point them to first. They deserve the best. And when you do that, you're requiring them to settle for second. And second, actually last, is you. And girls, when you go out there and you dress and you talk the way you want to and you post whatever you want to on Facebook, thinking, I'm just going to live my life and I'm going to tell the world how it is, so you dress where it looks like you went to your closet and you found a box of tissues and you duct taped that to your body, and that's what's going to be here's the deal. Only pigs go after trash. So I tried what you want. And this view of sex leads to guilt, shame, confusion, remorse, disease, addiction, unwanted children, and divorce. When I read my Bible, Jesus never said he wanted those for us. And why did we get those? Because we have a normal view of it. It's changed our faith as well. We have this Christian atheism thing going on now, where we can believe in God but act as if he doesn't exist. Or we can proclaim that he is Lord of all, but go out and do whatever we want to in our hallways, as if he doesn't exist. In churches, normal is lukewarm Christianity, self-centered consumerism, and a shallow, me-driven faith. God has become a means to an end, a tool in our toolbox, and people claim God, but they deny him by his action. We will not live that, and that's normal. I am calling you to weird, and Jesus said, please, and all that you are, be weird. All that is normal, and normal isn't working. I've never wanted to experience, ooh, yay, guilt, shame, confusion, remorse, disease, addiction, unwanted children, and divorce. I never wanted to feel overwhelmed, overloaded, and exhausted, only wanting more time to catch up. And that's normal. You go talk to anybody, and they will tell you, how do you feel? Well, I'm worn out. Why? Long week. Only had more time. And acknowledging the fact that we, again, buy, sell, drive, cook, clean, call, shop, eat, plan, study, write, review, schedule, and have to follow through. God wants us to love him and want him, not just to consider him or acknowledge him or consider him some cosmic sugar daddy. You follow God and you will never settle for normal, but the best is God. So strive to live a weird life. He's got some weird words that he says, and they're red, so you know he said it. If you don't hate your parents, you can't follow me. That's weird. If you don't want to lose your life for the sake of me, that's weird. If you don't love your enemies, if you do not take up your cross, even then he was picking people off left and right with stuff that wasn't really normal, because what's the greatest commandment out of all? They've got, like, I don't know, 700 plus laws. And he says, love God, love people. That's the best. Well, what about money? Render to Caesar that which is Caesar's. Render to God what is God's. I don't like that. Yeah, it's weird. That's the point. I think this is going to be a great series, and I firmly believe there will be life change. But I want it to start now.